The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 25th day of April 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. He's Rajay Denbrook, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Morning, Rajta. How are you, sir?
Morning, Mr. Hartman. I'm pretty good today.
We love to hear that you're pretty good. We love to hear it. Did anything fun last weekend? We're past hump day, almost another weekend.
What did I do last weekend? I can't remember. It's Thursday.
You know what, Raj? You asked me what I did yesterday, and I probably couldn't remember. You know, this is why I have to put my clothes in the hamper after a day, seriously, because I don't necessarily remember what I had on the previous day. And so if I don't put them directly in the hamper, right, I might just rest it on the bed and be like, oh, I haven't worn this thinking it's folded and it's clean. So I get it. My memory is not what it used to be, Raj.
Listen, honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, indeed. Being honest with ourselves first, right? Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Thursday, Jamel, Roger, and Maya. Welcome back. And she means welcome back, folks. Welcome back, Roger. I love Suzanne. All right. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Alex Dill on from NMAC for this segment of Ask the Doctor. We're discussing how we can maintain a healthy diet, healthy lifestyle on a budget. I love these conversations because we've always heard that eating healthy is so much more expensive. So I'm looking forward to this conversation with Alex. And please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Don't forget, the Daily Play, it's a name that plays today. But I want to put up the QR code. So how it's going to work, folks. Here's how the QR code works. I don't think we explained it well enough, right? Well, where the heck did Maya remove the damn QR code? Where the QR code? Where the hell is my QR code, folks?
There it is.
Oh, sorry. I was expecting to be at the bottom. Here's our QR code. QR code. So here's how it's going to work. You want to scan it. And then once you go to the page, it says drop a line. Where it says drop a line, today what you're going to type in is DAGE minus. That's the word for today, one of Bermuda's potential Olympians. That's what we're going to do so that you can be eligible to win tickets to this weekend's USA track and field event, courtesy of the Bermuda Tourism Authority. So that's what you want to do. Scan that right now. And I know some people were challenged saying they can't scan on their phones if they're on their phone or computers. Ask your friend next to you to be a good person. But you want to scan that right now. And then you want to drop us a line. And when you drop us a line, just type DAGE minus. That way we know that you're trying to make yourself eligible, right, for today's winnings. All right? All right. So let's get back to it. Today we have Rajay, and I'm going to ask everyone who's tuned in right now to do us a favor and like, share, follow, subscribe. But I want you most of all to share with your friends, your family, your colleagues, because the question of the morning is going to be, how do you feel about the government encouraging landlords to make their vacation rentals available for affordable housing? Well, where does this come from? Well, in the Royal Gazette, the headline reads, Hayward, affordable housing a priority over tourism beds. And he goes on to say the government is planning a shakeup of tenancy laws to encourage landlords to rent their properties to Bermudians rather than tourists. Jason Hayward, the Minister of Economy and Labor, said that there needed to be a change in the mindset of landlords and that more needed to be done to make it advantageous for them to provide affordable housing to residents rather than holiday homes to visitors. Mr. Hayward said he recognized that there was a shortage of both affordable housing and vacation units, but that the rental sector needed to be regulated so that we don't have basically a lack of for locals. All right. Now, last year, the government introduced a tax of up to $2,500 annually on vacation properties and argued that the fees were neither exorbitant or prohibitive. But let's get into this. Because we know the old adage in Bermuda, people would purchase homes, they would buy their homes, and it was another way of form of income. It was a way to, maybe retirement and the like. That bubble was probably always going to burst. But now people, for whatever reason, have these homes. They don't want to rent to locals for whatever reason. People probably, doing things at the properties that they don't want to be doing, maybe activities that are not illegal, but inappropriate, some illegal activities, some maybe in unfortunate situations where they're not paying their bills and the like. We don't know. But what are your thoughts on the government getting involved? Well, first question though, Raj, is should the government change legislation to make landlords rent to locals over vacationers? That's a yes or no, audience. Just a simple yes or no. Should the government change legislation to make landlords rent to locals over vacationers? Yes or no? Raj, a quick yes or no on that. Your quick take.
I don't like the word make.
I changed it from encourage to make. Yeah. I left encourage in a regular combo, but I put make purposely.
The only way government can make anyone do anything, you know what I mean, is if they own the asset. You know what I mean? So it's like say it again.
Your brain is so big.
That's a I know smart people. I don't feel like I'm one of them. That's another conversation for another day. But it's like, for me, the ultimate solution is you have to increase the amount of public housing stock that we have. For me, that's the ultimate. You can't make anybody in the private sector necessarily do anything. Like, you have the Human Rights Act.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to put housing in the Human Rights Act,
And the reason, so I'll just explain the reason I put make over encourage, which is in the original conversation, because I feel like once it's written in legislation, it's almost, they're using choosing language very carefully, right? Where they want to say encourage. But once it's written in legislation and you have to go through all these hoops, it's almost going to feel forced, in my opinion. Right. So let's go to the audience. Should the government change legislation to make landlords rent to locals over vacationers? Absolutely no, says Suzanne Ingham. Lydia Simmons says no. WKD Lama says yes. Explain your yes to us, because you're the only yes so far, WKD Lama. Michelle Doris says no. Manuela John says no. Pamela Wade says no. Jackie Eve says no. Malachi Troy says no. Janet Maynard says no. Shamari Tall Sky says they should give incentives like land tax discounts, etc. Suzanne Ingham says, Roger, you are extremely brilliant. You just don't see it, but you are. He is. But I think this is, so now, let's get into the conversation, right, Raj? How do you feel about the government encouraging landlords to make their vacation rentals available for affordable housing? Like, how do we feel about the minister in that direction?
I think it's a very appropriate and fair thing to say. I mean, with the current housing model that we have that relies on tenancies with private landlords, because remember, that's only one housing model, right? There are tons of different ways that you can approach housing. So jurisdictions that have more of a social safety net, they really invest in their affordable housing, public housing stock, right? And housing right now, the housing crunch isn't something that's specific to Bermuda. It's being experienced internationally.
Mhm.
In London right now, it's horrible. All over the UK, it's not great. All over the US, it's not great. Canada, and it's all the same issue.
Mhm.
It's not a housing crisis, it's an affordable housing crisis, right?
Mhm.
So there's not much around, and what is around is stupid expensive.
Mhm.
So in these jurisdictions, what they're doing is that they're investing in their public housing stock.
Mhm.
So we have the housing corporation, and they brought on their 77 units, renovating, etc. But so I'm gonna off on a tangent a bit too quick. But
No, I'm right with you. Keep going.
but under our current model, right, where you need where this idea of private landlords, of
Mhm.
landlordism, is only one model of
Mhm.
of one housing model, right? But
Mhm.
that's the model that we have right now.
Mhm.
And the reality is there are people who cannot find somewhere to live right now. There
Mhm.
is a lot out there, and everything that's out there is stupid expensive, and it is creating an unprecedented level of housing insecurity and homelessness in this country.
Mhm.
And that's the reality.
Mhm.
And I will slightly personalize this for a second. So I'm currently looking for somewhere to stay. I've been looking for quite a few months now,
Mhm.
and it's bleak out here, Jamel.
Mhm.
If you don't come from like money,
Mhm.
like if you ain't earning, if you're not a high earner, and this is the thing, this isn't just affecting low income people.
Mhm.
This is affecting people who are making like pretty decent money.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I do think that it's fair under like the current housing model that we have for the minister to encourage or suggest or to move in the direction of, hey,
Mhm.
we have Bermudians who need somewhere to live. What can we do legislatively
Mhm.
where we can encourage or create an ecosystem or ecology
Mhm.
where landlords are going to be more willing to rent to Bermudians again?
Mhm. Mm. No, I got it. And I guess that my question to the end of what you just said, though, Raj, is do we know the reasons? I don't know if it's been shared, the reasons why landlords aren't renting to locals and are choosing vacations. Because let's be honest, um, there are not vacationers coming to the island that much where there's, these places are full all the time. So is there any explanation from their end as to why they're choosing otherwise? But audience, how do you feel about the government encouraging landlords to make their vacation rentals available for affordable housing? What are your thoughts on that? And WKD Lama says, housing is a human right. Housing should not be an investment. It should be shelter. Um, I how do you feel about this, Raj? Because I may differ.
No, I completely agree. In theory, in pure like thought experiment terms, yes, I 100% agree.
Mhm.
It's like the idea of healthcare.
Mhm.
Healthcare shouldn't be a for-profit industry, right? For in my opinion, and I feel like the same thing with housing. It shouldn't be somebody just doing it to make money.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we live in a capitalistic society where people we're sort of prioritizing people's right to choose and do what they want, like, with their assets. So it's like, but again, the ultimate solution is to increase our public housing stock. And I know, like back in the UK, the tiny little bit of reading I've been able to do, I
Mhm.
think it was back in the 60s and 70s.
Mhm.
Um, the amount of people in private, the amount of people that were private renting of the population was like 1.5%,
Mhm.
and everything else was public housing. So what the government had done was they went in and actually bought people's properties.
Mhm. I think that's what Charles is insinuating here. He's like, why are we not encouraging derelict hotels and homes to come back online? We need beds for visitors and locals. I read somewhere that 12% of homes are derelict. Like, why not focus on those ones rather than the ones that necessarily are available and people want for vacation rentals? But I guess my opinion on this is housing is a human right. I don't necessarily disagree with that in theory either. Goes on to say housing should not be an investment; it should be shelter. That sounds good, but there are people who've worked all their lives to provide shelter for themselves and their families, and then also help pay off their mortgage. I think we're very short-sighted sometimes when we think of people who own homes and are trying to make money. They have, let's not stop with them. They have mortgages to pay. Those mortgages are through banks, right? That's where really the buck stops. So I think we tend to think some people are just being selfish or taking advantage of others, but we never go as far as the bank. we also have to be very careful about control, Raj. There are people who want less government, like they want certain levels of freedom to be able to have their own and grow their own. Like, do we want more government to tell us what we can and can't do with our investments, with what we've built for ourselves? So in theory, I actually agree with this. I understand it, but someone who's worked their, like, literally still killing themselves to pay off a mortgage, I don't believe that the government should have a right to tell them, right, how they should make their money to pay that mortgage within law. I get it. Everyone deserves it. But I think there's another way that this can be handled by telling private entities, people or businesses, what they can and can't do. I think the government has an opportunity to create these places with derelict, work out deals with families that basically have derelict homes, create legislation or policies there. I don't know, but I'm very cautious on the side of government getting involved in things. Well, this government in particular, when they pretty much have a track record of not getting a lot right when we should be. Manuela Jones said, if landlords were shown more concern when they had problems with tenants, it would be more encouraging. Interesting. And
go
ahead,
I
Raj.
checked out. Because I've seen this comment made a lot that the law basically favors tenants.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult for landlords to make complaints or action complaints or anything. But what is it? It's the Rent Increases Domestic Premises Act 1978, something like that. So if your house has an ARV of 22,800 or less, it's rent controlled, and it falls under that legislation. If it's more, it falls under another. But it does lay out very clearly the reasons why you can remove somebody from your premises. And it's got some pretty good teeth. I mean, you just can't be in somebody's house doing whatever you want. And, some landlords say, well, I shouldn't have to go to court. Well, when you want to not undermine, but when you want to remove somebody's security in terms of housing, you should have to go through a pretty rigorous process in order to put somebody out. I don't think it should be that easy, right? And it's pretty clear in the act. If you can, you can be an undesirable tenant, and you can justify that however you want. Are they disturbing the peace? Are they damaging the property? Are they threatening you? Do you know what I mean? And for those reasons, you can go to court and put it in front of a magistrate to argue to have somebody out. So I think that there is enough teeth, for landlords to handle undesirable tenants.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Well, let's go to, we've got Terry Trotz as the difficulty of getting rid of nuisance tenants is a deterrent from renting. And Malachi Troy says, so I got to attend a attend a meeting with progressive minds. And what I picked up is that the landowner is looked at like the enemy. There are laws protecting the tenants, but not the landlord. I think that's a part of the reason why landlords don't want to rent.
See, but I don't think so.
You don't see that?
I feel like, because maybe landlords don't like having to go to court to get tenants out. But for me, that's necessary. But number one, the tenant-landlord relationship is governed by a piece of legislation, right? And a tenancy contract. Therefore, if it's a legal issue, you're going to have to go to court, to solve it. And I don't know, if landlords start to want to say, we don't want to have to go to court, to handle our tenants, well, that's a whole nother conversation. And that's not a conversation that I agree with. Like, if you want to handle your tenants, you should have to, and vice versa. If a tenant wants to handle a landlord over something, they should have to go to court. Well, they can go to consumer affairs.
All right.
But it's not the same thing.
Okay. Charles H. Jeffs II says we need serious revisions to our laws protecting landlords and renters. Let's start there before telling people what to do with their property. Yeah, I think I understand the feel-good part, but I think we need to be careful about allowing government to dictate to us how to, treat our investments or homes or private entities. Lydia Simmons says, you work hard to purchase your home, you rent it out, and the tenant who pleaded with you to pay, to have it pay his rent for a few months, then stops paying, doesn't clean the place and breaks doors. Government is paying for repairs or lost rent. Look, got to bring Maya in for the news break, but I mean, Raj, there's got to be some common ground here.
There definitely has to be.
There has to be, because
but with that last comment, it's like under the current system, you get a deposit from your tenant that's meant to be for damages, right? So if they damage the property, you don't give them back that deposit so that you can, handle your repairs. If people start to want to talk about government subsidizing, basically, that's what you're saying. You want, if people want government to step in and say, well, if you have damages, we'll give you this amount of money to fix the property. I'm not sure how I feel about that, because again, the current system is you have your rental deposit for damages. That's number one. But then number two, if there are arrears, like serious arrears, that's a small claims matter that has to go through the courts. So again, is it that people don't want to go through the courts to recoup their arrears? And it's because what people are really talking about is a paradigm shift when it comes to renting, and that or it comes to housing in the country, and that's going to require a whole country discussion that a simple change in legislation isn't going to achieve.
Yeah, I think before we bring Maya in, let's just do let's ask a yes or no question in a different way. Are you in favor of government telling landlords to rent apartments/homes for affordable housing? Are you in favor? Yes or no? Are you in favor of the government telling landlords to rent apartments or homes for affordable housing? Are you in favor of that? Yes or no, Raj? Are you in favor?
Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Telling landlords to rent their apartments for affordable housing. I don't know. Because I don't know if you can mandate that. It's
yeah.
In principle, in a wonderful, perfect world, yes.
Okay. All right. What are your thoughts, audience? Yes or no? Real quickly, Monica Dunson said the issues occur when landlords let the lease expire and it reverts to month. Yes, we got to pay attention to that. Sine Smith says no. Manuela John says no. B. Denise Hollis says no. All right, folks, we're going to bring Maya in for the Daily Hour News Break. Let's just bring this up real quickly. This is the QR code for your chance to win tickets to the USATF event this weekend. Just what you're going to do is you're going to what they call it, scan that. Yeah, you're going to scan that and go to the drop us a line on the website. So scan that. You'll subscribe, drop us a line. The name today is Dage Minus. Someone will walk away with 2 tickets today to the event this weekend on Sunday. You'll get to see some of the best runners in the world as they prepare for the upcoming Paris 2024 Olympics. Yeah, that's where Maya Palacio is going to be. Yep. She'll be hanging out in Paris. Yeah, Paris. Yeah, I don't know if I wrote the tongue properly, but you get my point. All right, let's bring Maya in for the Daily News Break. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. See what she's got for us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, MP. How are you?
Feeling pretty good this morning. I'm back in Bermuda, so it's like a surreal, different view for me. I don't know if it looks different for you guys, obviously, but it's different.
What's the weather like?
I haven't even looked outside, but it seems to be pretty good. Yesterday was super nice. Honestly, it was beautiful driving around the island again with my aunt. So
yeah. Warmer than Canada, huh?
Way warmer. Like I was wearing like a thermal and another jacket and my overalls, and my grandma's like, make sure you have a jacket. And I'm like, I am boiling right now. I am hot. I'm so hot right now.
Apart, I tell you. Yeah, I could only imagine coming from very cold climate to Bermuda in the spring. It's just night and day. How you looking? What you got for us today?
Well, good morning, everyone. This is your daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. So, starting out your news this morning, the Daily Mail Men's Health Clinic is set to return on Saturday, May the 18th. You would have recalled me talking about it last year when they first started up on the show. So, they actually had more than 150 men who took advantage of the offerings last year. And this year, the and
Maya,
Somerset.
we couldn't hear anything you were saying just now, so.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
Well, last year, I think I'm just going to start with co-founder Jonathan McAndrew said that they are so glad to have the support and come back for another year here in Bermuda, and it is a very vital assistance to the public, and that they hope to have it as a permanent fixture in Bermuda. And the dates for this year, including some new pop-up locations, will be St. George's Cricket Club, Bailey's Bay Cricket Club, Workman's Club, and Somerset Cricket Club as well.
I absolutely love it. Honestly, Roger mentioned earlier, housing, like health insurance, and just knowing that I mean, healthcare should not be for profit, but unfortunately it is. But I appreciate the Daily Mail and what they're doing, giving people an opportunity to get checked. I mean, just getting checked at one time could save lives, extend lives, and just ensure that we're healthy. So thank you to them for continuing to do that.
Definitely, and looking forward to see what type of statistics they bring out this year, and hopefully more people go this year. As for last year, just knowing that it's there now, more consistent and there to help, obviously. So in other news, Bermuda launches the groundbreaking National Disabilities Register application. So here's a little bit from the minister.
I want to personally thank all who are here today to personally witness the launch of the first ever National Disability Register. The National Disability Register allows the Ministry of Youth, Social Development and Seniors to keep a centralized database of accurate and current data on persons with disabilities. This will provide key information about all types of disabilities persons are challenged with, which will in turn identify gaps in the areas of programs, services, and special equipment needs.
That is great. Awesome. I was kind of distracted because her style is just so on point. But no, that was great. I'm sorry.
I got to actually get there yesterday. I got it right at the end though, and they're like closing up shop. But I did get to see some people who were registering as well. A couple of my family members went through as well, and it was a really big event, as from what I heard and from what you heard in the crowd as well. This is like something that they've obviously been pleading for and waiting for a long time. So a little bit of added information there says that 1 billion persons, or a fifth of the world's population, experience disabilities. And in Bermuda, the unique geography and varied needs of the community exacerbates challenges related to accessing life-saving information and resources. We hear that quite often. Resources are lacking in Bermuda when it comes to these type of things. So a little bit more onto that from the minister, and then I'll actually show you guys what the application looks like.
In the depth data, this will guide policy in healthcare, education, and accessibility initiatives to facilitate targeted support and deliver appropriate resources to advance inclusivity in Bermuda. Empowering persons with disabilities through accurate data representation is crucial for promoting and encouraging active participation.
I think it's great. My concern with Bermuda is we don't, as far as I know, we don't have like an act similar to the ADA Act in the US, American Disabilities Act. And it's tough because of the size of Bermuda, right? It's tough.
Yeah, that's true too. And here it is for anyone who is looking to download that application. That's what it looks like. You could search on app or Google Play National Disability Register, and that should be exactly what it looks like. And you can go ahead and download and get that there. If you have any issues, you can always call the department at 292-7802 as well.
All righty.
Okay. So in other news, Bermuda hosts regional use of force training for corrections instructors. So the success of this training course, So such a training course reflects Bermuda's commitment to excellence and leadership in corrections and training internationally, said the Minister of National Security, Michael Weeks, following the Department of Corrections training course for instructors. Minister Weeks added, by hosting and participating in such high-level training, we demonstrate our dedication to equipping our officers with necessary skills to perform their duties effectively and safely.
Nice. I feel more secure.
And in the meantime, this is still a scholarship application month, and the end of April is coming very soon. So again, if you're a student or someone looking to higher education, please go on BermudaScholarships.com to apply for these scholarships that are there for you to get the money. One that's currently about to hit that deadline is on April 30th, and that is the Dr. Barbara Ball Public Health Scholarship, which is being accepted until the end of April. So the scholarship is offered to honor Dr. Barbara Ball, who was the first born Bermudian woman to practice medicine in Bermuda and a tireless champion for people's rights. So a couple of the offerings for those who might be studying there on the side, so occupational therapy, speech therapy, nursing, social work, and the like. Again, more guidelines are available, BermudaScholarships.com. So be sure to go to that and apply if it falls under your expertise.
Yep. None of my majors, but folks, get that money. Get that money. Help yourselves.
Indeed. Okay. In other news, the Kaleidoscope Art Foundation is excited to celebrate its 18th anniversary. Rooted in the heart of Devonshire at 27 Jubilee Road, the foundation is a rich legacy as the former site of the Elliott School, which marks its 175th anniversary this year as well. Do you guys know what Kaleidoscope is?
Yep. It's right down there where the first Elliott was, as you just said, as you're going up to Barker's Hill.
Yep, exactly. So the primary focus is empowering students from toddlers, their age 18 months, to adults through engaging art and garden programs as they become, the cornerstone of those thousands seeking creative exploration and learn to support the environment. So Kaleidoscope's goal is simple: make creativity accessible to everyone. And now they're just looking for extra funding and extra people to land on my hands. They could continue giving back to these students and people in their program. They hope that with additional funds, they could welcome 120 students for the spots in the summer as well for their classes, because they wouldn't be able to join otherwise. So if you feel like giving, if you appreciate their community, definitely reach out to Kaleidoscope to help them continue the journey on enlightening every creativity thought in Bermuda. And as for the weather today, so it's looking very sunny, and I can't wait to go outside and actually experience it for myself. But looking like a sunny day, not as high in the degrees as yesterday. We got a high of 69 today, but should be like cloudy skies and nothing but sun.
All righty. Sounds like a cool Bermuda spring day. Raj, what you got for us days of the year?
Today is Teach Your Children to Save Day. Teaching your kid how to handle money could be the difference between a stressful and difficult life and a comfortable one. Take time to set them up. You can never start too early with financial literacy.
I like that. I think the responsibility should be on parents and guardians to kind of,
100%.
Huh?
100%.
Well, I think there's been loss over years where people keep talking about financial literacy and putting it on, schools and so on. Yeah, it should be in schools. But I think it
That's
actually.
Listen, the amount of things that at home we put on schools. But anyway, that's another conversation.
Yeah, indeed. Maya, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
See you soon, guys.
All right, folks. Maya Palacio, do not go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. We've got Ask the Doctor with Alex Dill coming up right after this. We're going to be talking about this. Is a very interesting conversation because many of us want to eat healthy, right? I mean, I don't want French fries going in my stomach every day. I don't want chips going in my stomach. But the apples, they might cost a little bit more, or so I think. Yeah, so I think Alex is going to discuss how we can, be a bit more healthy. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
It took 14 days to build your business plan. 6 months to build the courage to leave your day job. 3 weeks to find the perfect location. It took 10 days to outfit your space just right. And 1 day before your first client walked in the door. All totaled, it took you a full year to get your business operational. And this is just the beginning. To the entrepreneurs, the risk takers, the people that shape our economic community, we salute you and are here for you every step of the way. BEDC, providing knowledgeable, progressive, professional, and innovative support to Bermuda businesses.
Noah's Ark, the largest and most trusted pet supply store for almost 30 years. Not only have you watched us grow, but we've grown together, keeping the needs of your pets first, offering advice and giving back to the community. Shop online, choose delivery, or visit us in Devonshire. And with the Egg Show in view, we will continue our yearly support and help you find everything you need for one of Bermuda's most favorite community events. See you soon.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Roger Denbrook, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Keep the QR codes coming. We've seen them come through. Someone's going to be a winner at the end of this show. But without further ado, let's bring our guest for the day. It's Ask the Doctor, brought to you by NMAC, and we've got Coach Alex Dill joining us. We're talking about living healthy on a tight budget. Yeah, let's give a warm TDH welcome to Alex.
Morning, Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming. You know, it's early, but fit people like you are up like 3 a.m. anyway, right?
Right. That's a misconception.
Yeah, but no, thanks for coming, Alex. I haven't seen you in so long, but I just know that you've probably been consistent with living a healthy lifestyle. But for those who may not know, tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and what it is that you do.
I'm a coach, health coach. I've been coaching for about 9 years. And I've been helping people primarily with their physique and their overall wellness goals. So it's kind of a lifestyle approach, right? And when we look at life, we look at all of the things that get in the way of us trying to live healthy, trying to be healthy. So as a health coach, we kind of guide clients to, to reach their goals more efficiently and effectively and help them navigate life struggles. It's a reality.
Yeah, indeed. And people like you are needed, trust me, especially coming out of the pandemic when a lot of us couldn't move or decided like we didn't have those options. I actually never ran outdoors from like when I was in high school until the pandemic, and now you can't get me indoors on a treadmill. So, some positives came out of that stuff. But just let's talk about get into the nitty gritty of healthy eating. What are some practical tips, right, for individuals or families looking to eat healthy while on a tight budget? Because we hear it all the time. Oh, I can't afford to eat healthy. Like, it costs $5. The burgers and fries is $3. Folks, I'm exaggerating. We know a burger and fries is like $30, $50 in Bermuda, but you get my point.
Yeah. And it's a real thing. I think many of us are struggling with it. And I say us because even for myself as a coach and trying to be healthy, I've had to shift my approach and how I purchase things and where I shop, how often I shop, even get tighter with the budgeting. With inflation, with increase and rise of cost, we have to, I think, be a bit more strategic and navigate our approach in this more strategically. So, one of the top things I would normally recommend, and I think we all hear it, is to cook your own foods and prepare your own foods. I think then comes the idea that, hey, well, healthy foods are expensive as well, and they are. So this is where we have to sometimes, shop a bit more smarter, not harder, to be easier on our budget. So produce, as an example,
it's expensive. It is. I mean, and you compare that to like a bag of chips or unhealthy processed foods. Sometimes they are a lot more expensive. But I guess making the right choices, maybe even catching some discount days, doing bulk shopping, going to the farmer's market, things of that nature can actually really make a difference. But I think, again, it just comes down to having a plan. You know, the saying, fail to plan, fail to plan to fail. So at the end of the day, you know, we've got to sit down, map it out, and go in it with a strategic approach.
Interesting. And I think it's, you know, throughout life, just planning makes things easier, or at least it should. Let's discuss some examples. You mentioned produce and chips, but what are some examples of affordable yet nutritious meal options that people can incorporate into their diet?
Okay. Well, one way that I normally encourage as well is to prioritize our produce in our meals, right? Produce is going to be a lot less expensive than it is your meat options. And one way of looking at this, as far as like a plate and what your portion can look like, is half a plate of vegetables, which I don't think most of us do. Most times it's probably a lot more starch, it's a lot more meat. And, you know, just making that small shift in your plate could actually make a difference. So half a plate of vegetables, quarter plate of your protein, and quarter plate of your starch. And then also incorporating your healthy fats. Now, you think of nutrition and getting adequate amounts of a good balanced meal. We have to include, you know, primarily most of our three of our macros. That's your protein, fats, and carbs, and that's going to help us to achieve our health results that we're looking for as well. So getting a good balanced meal in, and having that balance in your macros can make a difference. But I mentioned half a plate of vegetables and prioritizing your produce, because, as I mentioned, they are less expensive than your meats, and it is a solution.
Yeah. Real quickly, Raj, before you go in, I want to ask the audience, and if you have any questions or comments for Alex, please send them through. But audience, what is your biggest challenge when trying to eat healthy? Like what challenges do you face in trying to eat healthy? Because some people it's price, some people it's like they just don't have the time to, you know, make their meals and so on. So audience, let us know what challenges you face, and we'll try to speak with Alex about how we can overcome them. Sorry, I'm Raj. Good.
No, that's okay. So as we're going about setting up our plates and properly and trying to eat healthy, when we're at the grocery store, what are like some specific things that people should be looking out for so that they can achieve that wonderful plate and those wonderful macros, but without overspending?
Without overspending, yeah. Canned foods are a lifesaver. I gotta admit, canned foods are a lifesaver, and they can still be within your health goals as far as choosing a healthy option. So if you compare canned food versus fresh meats from the deli, you're going to find them a lot less expensive. So that's definitely something that we can incorporate. I think even bulk shopping with our grains and beans, legumes can be of assistance as well. Instead of just buying them always in the normal grocery store, buying them in bulk could actually save you some money and last a lot longer.
Got it. And you hear a lot of people say like avoid canned foods, right? And so what are some other misconceptions that are floating around out there that may be preventing people from eating healthy?
That all healthy food is expensive, and it's not necessarily all expensive. Again, we just gotta maybe look at the prices a bit more. I think also many people are motivated to cook, and I think that gets in the way. We're always looking for a quick, easy, fast solution and a convenient solution. But cooking at home makes a huge difference. Preparing your meals, storing them, if not in the fridge, you can put them in the freezer and reuse them for later. And you don't have to cook every single meal, right? You can just, I guess, pick and choose which ones are going to be more convenient for you to be a time saver as well, so that they can last throughout the week.
Got it. So that was actually my next question. So meal prep and cooking does seem to be like two really big impediments for people. But as people are sort of getting over that hump, what are some specific ways they can be approaching cooking and meal prep to sort of maximize the nutritional bang for their buck?
Yeah, well, one way that I've been practicing and promote is batch cooking. I know not everyone's a chef, right? Not everyone's big and famous in the kitchen, and may not even know how to cook as well or enjoy the foods as much as they do the ones that they buy out. But batch cooking your meals, doing a one-pot meal that can last all week. What else? Cooking your meats, such as like chicken breast, boneless chicken breast. You can do enough for your whole family that can last half the week at least, without having to, cook multiple times. So there's a saying that says cook once, eat twice, or even eat 5 times, where these meals can last, throughout the week. And I think there's the other thing of, hey, we get tired of eating the same thing all the time. Well, at the end of the day, it's going to come to some sacrifice. If we do want to cut back on our spending, then we've got to sacrifice somewhere. Life and every choice comes with some sort of a sacrifice. And I think in addition to that, the benefits that we get from it and being consistent with our meals and getting the results that we desire. When I say results, so when our health results, our physique results, it's a no-brainer.
Interesting. We've got we did ask the audience some of the challenges they have with eating healthy. Alex, let's go through. Let's Mark Arthur C. Phillips. He says healthy snacks. Now, okay, we've spoken about the chips, right? As a unhealthy snack. What are some healthy snack ideas for people like Mark who have that challenge?
Some probably don't want to hear this, but stacking all your vegetables and fruits. I mean, these are one ingredient foods, right? You know that they're healthier. They are, as a one ingredient food compared to like a processed food, like the chips, as you mentioned, they don't come with all of the additives. They don't come with all of the, preservatives, and other processed ingredients that may not really be good for our health, in the long term. So buying these or enjoying these one ingredient foods as snacks, eating your fruits, these are things that just have been available for years, that you pick it off of a tree, you eat it. That's what we've done many years ago. But obviously things have changed with the food industry. And now we're getting what tastes good, what's fast, what's quick, and what's easy. But, opting for solutions like that can actually make a difference, not just with your health, but with your budget as well. I know bag of chips now. I mean, geez, comparing to years ago, it's a lot different. You can spend $6 or more on a large bag of chips, depending on what you're picking up, compared to maybe a few apples or a few oranges. So again, I think there is kind of misconception about like the amounts and how much we're spending on healthy foods versus our process. But I think sometimes we need to take maybe a closer look at these choices and at the prices, so we can make sound decisions.
All right, audience, if you have any more questions, comments, send them through. We have another one from B. Denise Hollis. She says, meal prep. I don't like eating the same thing for multiple days and cost. Let's talk about this, because some people think that meal prep means eating, quinoa, a small piece of chicken and broccoli every day of the week, right?
Exactly. It doesn't have to be that way. I think maybe that is one of the simplest ways, but for variety and diversifying your meals, switch it up. For example, I talked about, a batch cooking chicken. You can batch cook chicken, but it doesn't have to be the same seasoned chicken all week. You can season them differently, right? So maybe you take that batch and you divide it into 3 different parts, and you do one like herb crusted. Another one could be an Asian seasoning, and another one could be an Italian seasoning. It's up to you. So you can choose your seasonings to diversify your culinary experience, and the taste, and then also swapping them out for different starches and vegetables. So when we batch cook, again, this is cooking multiple things at once. So one way that I personally do it, well, I'll cook about 2 different starches. I'll cook 2 different meats, and then a few different vegetables, right? And you just swap them around. So you have those different meals, but if you swap them around with the different flavors, you end up having a different taste for each day, versus it being the same thing all the time. So there are creative ways of doing it. I think, again, just comes down to having a plan.
I like that. I absolutely like that. I was going to mention this to you. Ellen Kate Horton, she says, grow your own veggies. A few heads of lettuce in the garden will last a long time. But I wanted to take this comment and add it to it to go into community gardens. Graham Smith says, I'll take it down. But he basically says inflation has really hurt low-income families who are already struggling to eat foods. It would help if we had more affordable housing, lower rents, lower energy costs, bulky gas, so people paid less on these items. They have more disposable income for healthy food. Community gardens, I think, we maybe starve for land, but, is there a way, like other classes, other things that we can do to grow our own food so that we don't have, from the idea, it sounds like it would be cheaper to grow our own, right?
Yeah. I always say go for the things that are going to give you a quick return. So, for example, an herb garden, I think is really great. Herbs, as we know, can really make our meals and pull them together. So instead of buying seasonings, because a little pack of seasoning, they're actually quite expensive, depending on which brand you're picking up. You can spend $5, $3 or more on a seasoning or on an herb that you can actually have at home. So, for example, you can do some parsley, quick, easy to grow. You've got rosemary, and the list goes on. And this is one way, and also considering that everyone doesn't have space to grow or to have a garden at home. An herb garden is probably one of the easiest ways of growing without having a yard, right? You can just have a few pots laying around that can actually you can actually use, which don't take up too much space.
We've got another comment. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says, my biggest challenge is that I love unhealthy food more than healthy food. How much of it is a mindset thing to, turn that bag of chips into a bowl of blueberries or blackberries?
Well, first of all, let's be real. A lot of these additives and these ingredients in these foods are making us want more and more of it, right? You think of MSG as an example. We're just going to desire it. And once it becomes, there's the physiological shift in your body, but once it becomes a mental habit, you always want it. So it does mean a mental shift and making a sound choice for yourself to say, hey, you know what? I know I love this, I know I love that, but what do I want the most? Do I want better health? Do I want longevity? Do I want to feel good? Do I want to have energy throughout the day? And, make your decision based on that. One thing I never force anyone, especially with my clients, into any specific direction. Every single choice that we make is up to us. But I try to lead them and guide them in the right direction. Yes, we're going to love things. And hey, look, even though I'm a coach, I'm a health coach, I like to have my little stuff every now and again too. I like a little burger, I like a little fries. But, what's the majority of our meals look like? You want to try to avoid these as at all costs as much as possible, but enjoy them, enjoy life. They're saying we only live once. So really enjoy the foods that you like, but maybe we can just shift how often and the amounts and the servings. So throughout a week, in a week span, how often are we buying out? How often are we eating takeout or eating foods that maybe aren't really supportive of our health? If we can there's what we call the 80-20 rule, like 80%, good healthy foods, and 20% we can enjoy the rest. That's just one rule. Doesn't have to be that, but again, we have that choice.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Helene Swan says, trying to eat dinner no later than 6:30 to 7. Light meal, of course. Oh, and hello, Alexander. He was my first coach, and he was very kind to me at NSMC. Alex, it's been a great conversation, but for those who may want to learn more and reach out to you to, pay or request your coaching services, how can they do that?
Easiest way, you can WhatsApp me. My number is 441-704-1400. 441-704-1400. You can shoot me a WhatsApp. I also have a meal prep guide. I think that will be helpful for a lot of people in showing them how to do it affordably and be creative with their meals. I've got recipes I can send you, a free recipe blog as well. So I think that'll be helpful. So shoot me a WhatsApp. You can also catch me at North Shore Medical Center. I'm doing some work with them. So you can reach out to them and try to get a hold of me, or even my website at primalnation.com.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. Really great conversation with you this morning. Please keep in touch. This is an ever-going conversation. It's ever evolving, with more people becoming educated with the internet about different meals and foods that are good for us. We go through so many fads, whether it was kale at one point, and just different things that pop up and people just jump on it, the keto diets and so on. So I think the work you're doing is extremely important. So stay connected to the community. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Alex Dill, folks. If you appreciated the conversation and information this morning, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to do it one more time. You need that QR code. We're going to let you know who the winner is after this break, but also someone's going to enter the draw for this week as well to, be the weekly winner of the TDH prize if you get the answer before Rajay, that is. All right, stick with us. We'll be back in 1 minute, 57 seconds. Stick with us.
April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Children depend on every single caring adult in our community to make sure they are safe from sexual harm. Keeping them safe not just in April, but every day. Whether you're a parent, a guardian, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or a caregiver, we ask that you take just 3 hours out of your busy schedule to learn what you can do to make sure the precious children in your life are protected. They are worth it. Join the 13,000 SCARS certified adults by simply visiting our website to sign up for a free SCARS training session. Learn about online and body safety, how to protect them, and how to respond if they are harmed. This information is vital to their well-being and their future. Because they are children, it is our responsibility, Bermuda, to protect them. Visit scarsbermuda.com and learn what you can do to help the child in your life stay safe.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions exasperated by market volatility, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At Friesenbrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal and cost-effective risk management cover. Therefore, we deliver a full suite of competitive insurance products to protect your business. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our broking services.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear. You can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to Alex Dill. Really good conversation this morning. Really appreciate those kind of conversations. So hit him up, folks. Hit him up. One thing I would love to see, Raj, is a healthier community, a healthier people. I think it benefits us all. It reduces the stress on our healthcare system. I'm guilty. I love potato chips. I'm the kind of guy who I can eat a bowl of blueberries and blackberries and also eat a whole bag of potato chips. But I'm trying to do better, Raj. Trying to do better. But yeah, thank you, Raj. But thanks again to Alex and Mac for this segment of Ask the Doctor. And thanks again to our partners, the BAT Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Raj, it's a name that place. Are you ready?
We'll give it a shot.
All right. In honor of one of our audience members who actually lives in this state, Rajay Denbrook, what U.S. states residents are known as Tar Heels?
Tar Heels? Oh, I don't know. What the heck is that? Tar Heels. Heels?
Yeah.
Tar Heels.
All righty, Raj. So, you know a fella named Michael Jordan? He used to play basketball.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Well, Michael Jordan, when they would introduce him, they would say, and 6'6" from North Carolina. Yeah. And he went to college at North Carolina as well. And they're called the North Carolina Tar Heels. Cherie, we got her. She said NC first. So we'll put her in the draw for tomorrow. Yeah, North Carolina Tar Heels. That's what their college team is called. Yeah.
Cool. Learn something new every day.
You know, I was like, I have to ask Raj this because he went to school in the UK. Larry went to school in North Carolina. So I'm like, I can't ask him that question. So I saved that one just for you, Raj, trying to trip you up.
I appreciate it.
Brother, no, always looking out for you, man. So final thoughts though, Raj. We'll give away the prize in a second for today. But again, folks, this is the QR code. Just put it up while Rajay and I are giving our final thoughts for today. This is the QR code for to enter the draw. The word today is, well, the name is Dage Minus. So you want to click that QR code and just drop us a line and type in Dage Minus. There are too many of you tuned in, not for you to be doing this. But we'll announce today's winner. But you do it today. You will have an opportunity to do it again tomorrow. Raj, final thoughts on today's show, speaking of the affordable housing versus vacation rentals, and then the conversation with Alex Dill about healthy living.
Yeah, but the reality is that, we're keeping the QR code up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, the reality is that we're in the middle of a serious housing issue, and people need somewhere to live. And right now, people are finding it very difficult to find somewhere to live. And as a country, that's something that we shouldn't tolerate. But the reality also is our current approach to housing requires private homeowners to want to rent their properties. You can't necessarily mandate or force anybody to do anything they want to do with their property. But the reality is, like I said, we are in the middle of a serious affordable housing crisis. And it's I don't really know what the solution is. I mean, and if you have a lot of properties where vacation rentals are undermining our housing stock, we should, as a country, be having conversations around how do we get those properties back into our rental stock. Personally, I do think that landlords have enough protections. Perhaps landlords don't want to go to court to handle their issues, but for me, I think that's the most appropriate way to do it. But like I said, I've said it twice, I'll say it again. We are in the middle of a very serious housing issue. And, you know, we can't turn a blind eye to it simply because it's not directly affecting us. You know, as a country, we really do have to figure out a way to address it.
Indeed. And Alex Dill.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, that simple thing of eat more fruits and vegetables. You know what I mean? And it's like it's not either. You make a choice, you know, you want to start replacing certain things in your diet. And like when you don't want to, you know, eat fruits and vegetables and eat your French fries. You know, you want to transition to eating more fruit. You want to get over there. But the reality there as well is that eating healthier is more expensive.
Yeah.
And it does. And if you want to eat healthier, it's going to require certain sacrifices.
Yeah. Raj, I want to echo what you said, and I appreciate your transparency because you could have easily BS just now as it related to the housing situation. But I appreciate your honesty in saying, look, we have a housing crisis. That's the reality. But you're also very understanding that, you know, telling private landlords what to do it's sticky, you know, because if you start it there, where does it end? Right. I don't have the answers like you, but I'm hopeful that more conversations like this will lead to a space where we can find solutions, because I do believe that people should have shelter. You know, it's something people should have. Does that mean that, you know, I think it will require many more things. So it's like, I keep saying, I don't agree with minimum wage, because if you don't have price controls, it's impossible for it to work. That's my, I mean, I just don't see how it works without that. So even with, you know, rent controls, do you tell private entities how much they can charge, who they can let into their private spaces after they've worked so hard? It's difficult. So I get you there. As it relates to Alex, again, I echo what you said, fruits and vegetables, you know. I'm having a hard time telling myself that potatoes in the fried form are not vegetables. I'm having a hard time doing that, Raj, because I thought they came from the ground and they were healthy for me. And then I was told they were a carb. So it's not, I'm saying that in all seriousness, it's not easy, folks. It's not easy. And I think we need to be kind to ourselves when we're trying to make these transitions. Seek assistance, reach out to Alex, reach out to your doctor, find out what it can look like for you to make an easy transition into a better diet and space. Let's give away the prize, Raj. Let's go to the daily hour. So who's going to win the first couple tickets? We have, looks like Manuela John. You are the first winner. So you win tickets for today. Congratulations, audience. Give Manuela John some congratulations. So you will receive tickets to this weekend's track and field event. So congratulations to you. Please, someone will reach out to you. We already have your email. Someone will reach out to you to get your ticket. So have fun, enjoy. Raj, do you have some daily inspiration for the audience?
I do, a very, very short one today from Hippocrates. Our food should be our medicine, and our medicine should be our food.
Just so easy. Yeah. The real medicine is what we put in our bodies, right? Real quickly, Karen Simmons, she says, morning, or is anyone in TDH doing the end-to-end or middle-to-end on Saturday? Unfortunately, we're not. We actually have we're doing some things. You'll see. We're doing some things. So look out for us. But unfortunately, no, we won't be present. And it was something else. I thought something else, but yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that quote, Raj. We have to get out of here now. So folks, thanks. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Roger Denbrook. I am Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.